Hi everybody, my name is Anirudh and we're here to conduct an interview for the operations manager role. My colleagues will introduce their names as soon as possible.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Ali Gidan, and I'm the second colleague for this manager operation job. And today I will let my other colleague go over and explain their positions.
Thank you so much, Ali, for passing this into me. Hi everyone, myself Birendra Ranabat, and then I'll be the third interviewer for this job position of operation manager. So without further ado, can you just give your short introduction, candidate Abdul?
Hello, everybody. My name is Abdulrahaman Al-Alam. I'm the candidate for this job position for a manager operations planner.
Thank you so much for your introductions. Welcome, Abdul. Okay, Abdul, tell me a little bit about yourself. We just like to know who you are and what you do and why you're interested in this role.
Sure. I'm currently a student at Algonquin College studying business with a focus on operations and management. I've always been interested in how companies run smoothly behind the scenes, and through my coursework and team projects I've done at school, I've learned how to plan, organize, and improve processes. I'm detail oriented, good at working with others, and enjoy solving problems. I'm excited about this role because I want to start my career in operations and learn how to manage real world projects efficiently.
Perfect. All right, that sounds good. That sounds like someone we're looking for. All right. Describe a time when you had to implement a new policy or a procedure that was met with resistance from your team. How would you handle it? Like, what was the outcome?
Once we had to switch from a paper based system to a digital platform for tracking resident complaints, and a lot of longtime staff weren't on board at first. Instead of pushing the change right away, I sat down with them informally to understand their concerns and where they're coming from. And based on that, I rolled out the system slowly, paired staff with paired staff up for support, simplified the training, and made sure I was there during the process. In the end, everyone adopted it and it really improved our efficiency.
Right. Okay. That sounds like a good thing. Okay.
Mm.
All right. So, tell me about a time when you had a difficult decision to make. That impacted your team or the residents. What was the situation like? What factors did you consider, and what was the result?
Once during a fire safety audit, we found that our lounge furniture wasn't up to code. Replacing it was expensive, but safety had to come first, of course. I brought in our facilities team, residence life staff, and even some student reps to look at options. We faced the replacements starting with high traffic areas and made sure everyone understood why the change was happening, and that helped. The space is now safer and everyone felt part of the solution.
Right. Okay. All right. So you need to understand that this role involves on-call responsibilities for emergencies. So can you describe any of your experience with handling urgent or crisis situations? Provide an example. We need to understand an example of a time where you've successfully managed a situation like that.
For sure. A few months ago, a pipe burst in the middle of the night and flooded several units. I responded right away, called maintenance, went on site, shut off the water, and checked in personally with residents. We helped them move temporarily until we made sure everything was situated and made sure they had what they needed. I kept everyone updated throughout the whole situation, and we had a team debrief the next morning. It was stressful, but we handled it pretty well, in my opinion, and the residents really appreciated the support we gave them.
Yeah, that actually sounds like you've done pretty well. Okay. All right. I'll pass over to my colleagues to ask further questions.
All right, thank you. Well, I'm going to go over some work-related questions, and I have a few questions I'm going to ask you. and see the type of response that you have. So one of the question was, in the job description, it mentions that overseeing front desk operation, finance, payroll, or housekeeping and physical plant. How would you prioritize and manage these diverse areas to ensure all standards are met equally?
So when managing different areas like front desk, housekeeping, and maintenance, I start by getting a clear picture of what each team needs and how they're doing. I set clear goals and have weekly check-ins with each lead, not just about numbers, but about roadblocks and how I can support them. I also like to encourage cross-training so teams understand each other better. For finance, I make sure good systems are in place and that I stay involved without micromanaging.
Okay, excellent.
Mhm.
Another question I have for you is, this role requires managing in the following established operate budget, as well as approve and control operational revenues and expenses. Describe your experience with budget management and financial reporting.
I've managed full operating budgets in past roles. I like to involve team leads in the planning process. It gives them ownership and makes the number more realistic. I track expenses closely and look for ways to save, like when I led an energy saving project by installing smart thermostats. I always keep reports accurate and on time and provide analysis that helps senior leadership plan ahead.
Okay, sounds great. Here's another question I have for you. How do you approach staff recruitment, hiring, training, and scheduling to ensure you have high performing and motivated team in residence setting?
When I hire, I focus on attitude and potential, not just
Mhm.
experiences. I use behavioral questions to see how people think and solve problems. I also bring diverse voices into the hiring process. After that training is ongoing, we do mentorship, professional development, and even lunch and learns. For scheduling, I work with staff to consider their preferences where possible. I try to build a culture where people feel safe to speak up, learn, and support one another.
All right. So the last question I have for you. As we know, this role involves maintaining relationships with external contractors and develop capital plans for system replacements. Describe your experience in these areas, include how you ensure values for the money effective projects are delivered.
With contractors, I believe in setting clear expectations from the start and having regular check ins to talk about upcoming needs. I've negotiated strong service level agreements with clear performance standards. On the capital planning side, I assess aging systems, bring in team input, and build strong business cases. One example was replacing our outdated security cameras. I looked at safety, cost, and long term impact and managed the project from start to finish while keeping everyone in the loop.
Okay, excellent. Well, from here, I will let our last colleague go over some situational questions, and he'll have some questions for you.
Okay, thank
Sounds
you so
good.
much, guys. So, how you are feeling, Abdul?
Never felt better.
Okay, this is what it is. So you are only 2 steps far from grabbing these positions, and then I have 3 questions that I want to ask you. Are you ready for
Mhm.
this one?
Please ask away.
Okay, so my question's gonna be like a situation-based questions. So just answers
Mhm.
accordingly, okay? So just imagine a situation where a critical automated building system like HVAC security access malfunctions during peak residence hours, impacting residents' comfort and safety. What immediate steps will you take, and how would you communicate with residents and senior management?
If something like the HVAC system went down during peak hours, I'd first figure out what exactly is happening and send in the right teams right away. I'd let the residents know right away as well through multiple channels what's going on and what to expect, using calm and clear language. I'd also brief senior leadership with key info and timelines. We'd make sure students felt supported and knew we had everything under control.
Thank you so much. I am satisfied with your answer. And my next question gonna be like, if you discover a significant disparity in the month end about the financial report that could impact the budget, how would you investigate this? And what steps will you take to rectify the issue and prevent future occurrences?
So if there was a big discrepancy in the financial report, I'd work with the finance team to dig into it calmly. No finger pointing, just focus on finding the issue. Once we find the root cause, we'd fix it and notify leadership. After that, I'd review our process to prevent it from happening again, whether that means better checks or more training. It's all about learning and improving as a team and learning from our mistakes.
Thank you so much, Abdul. I really liked what you say about not pointing towards the finger. That's the spirit. Like if you are working in a team, that's the spirit. So my last question is gonna be, if a new corporate policy is released that requires a significant change in how your team process student move-ins and is met with strong negative feedback from both staff and students due to perceived inefficiencies, how will you address this situation?
If a new move-in policy caused frustration, I'd start by listening through surveys or focus groups to understand exactly what's not working. Then I'd pull together a small team of staff and even students to come up with practical improvements. Maybe we change how we communicate the policy or tweak internal steps. If needed, I'd suggest adjustments to corporate too. Then I'd share back the results so people know their feedback made a difference. I always aim to balance following policy with making the process better for everybody.
Thank you so much, Abdul. So that
Thank
was
you.
my last questions. I hope my colleagues are also satisfied with their answers. So without further ado, my colleague Anirudh gonna brief it.
All right. Thank you so much, Birendra. Thank you so much, Abdul. It was pretty good. I think we have an idea of who you are and what you're interested in and what you're looking to pursue in this position. And I hope we impress you as a company and the role we offer. Thank you all for joining us here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I'm really glad for the opportunity to speak with you today and share a bit more about myself and how I can contribute to your team.
No, it's awesome. We got to learn about you great things and we get to understand who you are as a person. And it really gave us a clear image of who you are, and we can see if you're suitable for the position that we're offering. We can have a clear set of mind. We can come up with a decision afterward. And I feel like it shouldn't be a hard decision to figure out if you're qualified or not for this position.
Sounds like great news to me. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Perfect. Thank you so much. All the very best for your journey. And our recruitment team will be contacting you if there's anything. Yeah. Watch it for your mails.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you
your
so much,
time.
Abdul.
Thank you
Okay,
for your
hold
time,
on.
Abdul.